the priestly husbandhood. That means you are a priest and a husband. This is very important. The role of men in the society. I would like us to look closely to this. There are many studies done on society concerning the role of man. This not have nothing to do with Christianity. This is statistics. The home where you don't have men, or the men are not playing their role, it happens that it play big time on the children education. It play on the poverty and the well-being of the society. If you take a church where the majority of the family don't have a man playing their role in the home, the church will be weak. If you take a society with a boy, especially a boy without father, most end up in a lot of confusion. They don't have a pattern to follow. The daughters have what people usually call daddy issue and many problems when they get married. The role of a man cannot be substituted. But unfortunately, man's role is not really considered of value in a society or in a church. Because if we look closely how much that influence the society, the church, the economy, the education, all of this, they must have a special training for men to be able to meet the requirement of their manhood and husbandhood and fatherhood. The word husbandhood, I don't see it. So if it's there, good. Otherwise, just know that I just made that one. I'm sorry. There is a need. Now, let me try to paint. I want to paint a figure. Okay, look at it. Let's say a young man very early was led by his father, and he was obedient. And the father started teaching him about life very early. And the father helped him to set up very quickly, very early. Let's say the father was a farmer. He taught farming to his son. By the time he's a teenager, he knows most of the things about farming already. He had his farm already. In many cultures, that's how it used to be. When you have a boy, you start planting for the boy, planting fruit trees, nut trees, anything that can be bringing more income later on in the next 10 years, 15 years, and maybe up to 80, 100 years. So let's say that father have just about 20 acres of coconut farm for the son. And then the same father educate the son in the Bible about the role of a man as a priest, the role of a man as a provider, the role of a man as a husband, the role of a man as a father, the role of a man as a priest. By the time that young man will be 20, you have a farm that's productive, you have a degree, maybe helping him to start a job by 2022, you can finish college, right? Let's say it's like that. So that son have a farm, they have a college. He is taught about the role of a man, because I remember very well I was 13, and my father told me this, that very soon I'm going to become a man. And he would like to let me know this quickly, very early. that even if the country have a war, my family must eat. It might have a war, you might not have a shelter, whatever, but your wife and children must eat. You gotta know that no matter how bad is the economy, the stomach doesn't know nothing about economy. Stomach is ready to digest all the time, most of the time, in a healthy way. So very early, he put that responsibility in my head, like really early. And it was like, I remember that very clearly. That no matter what, and the second says, be very disciplined and aim very high because your responsibility is unlimited. See, my responsibility is unlimited. And yes, it was a little bit scary back then, but at the same time, it was necessary. Then he showed a lot of examples that boys that are not prepared and get any girl pregnant, they have child in a teenager, they were not prepared for it, how themselves need to stop school, they can't take care of the children properly. And he show you the result of not following his instruction. So you see that it's not about he's trying to control, he tell you exactly how life look like. And trust me, this thing really hit hard. I was afraid to make a mistake. That's way before I become Christian or Adventist. Where value were taught very early. School, it was very clear. Say, look, focus. I said, just focus. Don't be distracted. It was very clear you don't need any woman right now. Go to school, get educated, have a good character. And it's a woman going to look for you. You don't need to look for them. Be very highly educated, have a character that is acceptable, be well in your society. You don't need to look for it. It's coming. And I heard this in very early. I'm like, okay, that's good. I don't need to look, I don't need to worry about it. See, just have what they need. They're coming anyway. And I started understanding this thing way later on. If a lot of young men, if my father was much Christian and gave me more about Christianity, about sanctuary, oh, that would be way better. So he taught me very well about a lot of stuff, very, very early. How you budget, how you do everything. That's much more my mom. So there's a role that nobody else can play properly than a father. The father experience responsibility. They wish they can do some of the stuff much better. And they know how to talk life to their sons, even to their daughters. So the fatherhood required a training. Personally, I always ask a question: how they give a driver a marriage license and a certificate? Because I know any license or any certificate require training. The last time I checked. But you don't give any seminar, but give a certificate anyway, or give a license. I think that's very wrong. So now let's take an example much practical, much biblical. Let's use the example of Isaac. Abraham makes so much mistake. So much mistake. When he finally understood God way and make up his mind, go and read the education of Isaac. You will be shocked. He was taught selflessness from very early. That's why when the time come and the father, Abraham, opened to him, this God will, he asked me to sacrifice you as a living sacrifice unto him. Isaac accept and encourage the father to tie up his hand and to do it. He was taught the deep principle of the kingdom. Now we don't train our young boy. They spend a lot of time playing video game, wasting the precious time of their life, the most precious time of a boy. From 15 to maybe 25. You miss that, you might never recover from it. It will haunt you for the rest of your life. Your foundation. A man needs training at least 10 years before you get married. Training. You have to be trained as a man, trained as a father. You got to take like seminars on fatherhood. Train as a priest. You go to all the seminars through the sanctuary priesthood. A priest in a home, he must be taught. He must be trained as a provider. Look at the Jew. That's what they do. They train their boys. They taught them very well what is waiting for you in life. And when they get married, they support them a whole lot. I encourage you to study a little bit the Jew marriage. It's a lot difficult to learn. If you want a healthy society, heal the man first, the head, and then heal the wives. Children will be fine. The future will be all right. Everything will be okay. So it's not about just get a degree. You can make some money. You can pay the bill that you are good as a man. No, that's maybe 10%. Or to be honest, maybe less than that. But I want to be generous a little bit, 10%. Emotional maturity, how to lead by principle. We never been taught. The true leadership is not giving order. True leading is bringing people to understand and make a decision to follow. That is true leadership. That's how Christ lead, and that's how God lead. God doesn't boss people around. He teach you his ways. He explain to you the outcome, the result, the long term, everything. Then he give you a conviction to follow. That's how God leads. And a man should be taught that way, that you must lead by teaching, by educating, by bringing conviction. And people choose, the wife will choose to follow based on the understanding you gave. Children will follow based on the teaching and understanding you gave. So it's way more than just be able to work and provide. It's a lot of stuff that money can give. So as a man, we are failing. And if we want to put it in a right context of the end time, imagine every man have the chance to be trained like Isaac. And we are taught to be so selfless and learn heavenly sanctuary principles. And we are taught to build the root, financial root and everything. And then we are taught godly way to be a father, to be a husband. And we are taught to secure the family financially. We are taught the health principle to set up health in the home. And all of this properly taught. And doctrine are taught at the home by the father, the husband, the priest. So the sanctuary, the end time prophecies, Daniel Revelation, all the things we are studying, God purpose and vision for your life, 144,000, the investigation, judgment, and atonement must be taught at home. Okay, it should be taught at home by the priest in that home. It's not now that people should be going after some platform or Zoom or YouTube to learn something. It should be taught home. We are in a real broken system. And the husband as a priest under Christ's high priesthood. Let's read. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 1 and 2. Hebrews 8, verse 1 and 2, talking about Christ's high priesthood, reads as follows. Hebrew chapter 8, verse 1 and 2 read. Now of the thing which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens. Verse 2. A minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. When you have a high priest, you must have priests. And a husband should be priest under Christ high priesthood. So in every Adventist home, the husband as a priest under Christ high priesthood on this day of atonement. He is the one to be leading his household, wife and children, on how to experience the Day of Atonement daily. It should be studied at home, not on some platform, not maybe on this platform. But unfortunately, the husband was not taught. He does not have it to offer. And sometimes a frustration for a lot of sisters on the line right now. They have a husband that's Adventist, but he can lead out the devotion. He can't do any study in the house. He just do barely something. And the woman is frustrated to play the role of a priest. Please, I apologize on behalf of all the men. It's not we refuse. It's not because we refuse. Most of us we didn't have the grace to be taught, and then we neglect to pick it up. Okay, we neglect to assume our responsibility. We should catch up by reading, by willing to be educated. So we need your help. Help us to catch up. Help us to update our situation. So there's a way to do it. Now, if you get frustrated, you start talking, make us feel little in the house, then we just give up. That is the condition of a lot of men. Because under the talk of the wife, and then the pride of the man is triggered, then he fully just gives up. Doesn't even come for the devotion anymore. So I encourage all the men to become very humble, and the women to also understand the situation. That blaming will not make it. Then what about we sit down and find a way how to get it? Can find some seminar for the husband to follow. Maybe both of you do it, and slowly we'll get there. I'm not here to cover any man behind. We are wrong. We got to fix that. It's very serious. Health message. The health message should be taught by the priest in the home. Look at Israel, who received the instruction from God on hygiene, on health. It was the priest. When somebody is clean, he should show himself to who? To the priest, and to be approved to reintegrate the society. The priest is not just about sacrificing. They play every single role. They receive the instruction and give it to the people in form of education. So we are in a serious crisis. If the church right now, guaranteed, we are about 23 or 24 million Adventists on earth. If a seminar is given to train all men, from a teenager to elderly, we are trained to have a seminar on priesthood, seminar on fatherhood, seminar on husbandhood, if I can say that. And we are taught how to be a provider. We are taught how to be emotional provider for the spouse, because sometimes when you say provider, we just think about just bring the money, pay the bills. More than that. Are you a resting place for your wife? Can she rest? Can she going to have emotional roller coaster? Can she lean on you? Or gonna face another immature character from your part? Do you even know, understand woman nature? So if there is any seminar that will build the man up, I guarantee the church will be healed. If the men can be healed right now, and these men are taught how to heal their home, that's it, the church will be healed, and the church will be ready to conquer the world. So it's a global agenda. People need to listen carefully to weaken the head of the whole. And the head here need to be understood because a lot of men don't understand head. Head mean foundation. Okay? Most of the men don't understand it. We think that being a head means being a boss. No, miss the point. The head means you carry all the weight. Look at Christ. He's the head of the church, right? Who carry all the weight or all the sin of the church? Christ. Who died for it? Christ. Who suffered for it? Christ. Who carry all the burden of the church? Christ. So the meaning of the head need to be considered, need to be compared to the foundation of the house. Any house that have a cracked foundation, a very broken foundation had to be teared down. You can repair the roof, you can repair a lot of, you cannot repair foundation. No. So the foundation is very damaged. Sorry, it's for demolition. So right now we have a home with a broken foundation. The man confused, miseducated, misled. It's a serious and a global crisis. I want to say something, please, for pay good attention. In this country, America, in 1950s, did we know most of the home live on one income? Just the job of the husband was enough. And then by 60s, 70s, it's changing completely. By 80s, it's completely upside down. It was an agenda that if you push the man to work and his work will not be enough, you break him as a provider. Then you push a woman because she had to work because what the man is doing is not enough now. Then both parents are working, so they have no choice but to hand over the children to the government or to the system. And the system will design the future of the children. This is what is really going on. At the same time, you realize that a lot of movement was going on. Emancipation of women, women right. Please, I'm not against none of the women right. Have all the right, just make sure it's right. The right way. Godly way. Okay, I believe women should be educated and everything, but should not be built against men. Women should be built to be better, but not against. Then slowly the value of marriage was broken down. The roles are messed up. And the women get confused as well. It's designed for the end time confusion. So we need to understand it's not about who is wrong, how much we are wrong. It's about this an agenda of the devil. And everyone need to wake up onto it. Every church must have a whole complete curriculum to train the men, then to train the women. We're going to talk about women next Sabbath, God willing, if time allows. So there's a need to a complete system of education for men. And I call that priestly manhood. Without that, there's no hope for any church. Things will be so confused, it can't work. Why? There's an infinite wisdom that designed everything. Infinite wisdom. So when we go against that divine wisdom, nothing can function right. So it's necessary to go back to the design, the way God designed things to be, and slowly let his power lead us step by step back. So the role of a man as a priest, what was the priest's role? The priest is to represent the people to God. The prophet represent God to the people. So the priests come and follow all the sacrifice, everything representing man to God, reconciling man to God. I'm talking about mankind, the human family. The very moment you remove that, we have a problem. Same thing for the prophet. The prophet is the mouthpiece of God. The very moment you start stoning the prophet, killing the prophet, the nation will go down. The people will not listen to God. You don't have a priest, the people can now reach to God. Then you have a disaster. So when we are seeing this, there's a wind going on right now about the righteous is too wide. People should understand what this really means. You attack the prophet, you attack the voice of God, and the things are going to be messy. Then you destroy the priest in the home. So if you have a nation without prophet that represent God to the people, the voice of God to the people, and then you destroy the priest, the voice of the people to God, what do you have? What is left? Nothing. Only confusion. Then we just create religious activities. Nothing going to go by principles. So it's very crucial that this need is realized by every man. And we encourage every woman to help your husband. Help him to understand his role as a priest, his role as a man, his role as a father, his role as a provider, his role as the protector. His role is so much, but unfortunately, very little is thought about. The husbandhood, the priestly husbandhood. So the dimension of the husbandhood, number one, the husband must have the image of God, which is divine, selfless character. The husband also must be man in Eden at work. Okay? Work is not by choice, it's not something by pleasure. It's an expression of man identity. That a woman, you don't marry a man who don't like to work. If men tell you don't like to work, you don't need to pray about that one. Just walk away. Pray that God help him one day that he come out of that. When God created Adam, where you put him? In the garden to do what? To work. That was before sin. Work. If you don't work, you can't provide. If you don't work, you cannot lay any example, any pattern for the children. You can't do anything. You lose your position as a provider, as an example, as a father, as a like you can't. In many society, you have to prove that you can provide before you get married. You have to literally prove it. Yeah. Number three, husband as a father, the source. Let's read something. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8 read. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. That is Bible teaching. This should be taught to our young men when they are teenagers. that now you worry about sneakers, about things, fine. In the next 10 years, you're going to face responsibility you're not prepared for. It has to be taught to our young people at AY, whatever. They have to be taught in detail about men responsibility. Why? The Bible says, let's read in Proverbs 22. If I have a good memory. Proverbs 22, verse 7 read, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, you see, when he is old, he will not depart from it. That means the thing that a grown man should be doing or will be doing should be taught when? When we are younger. That's why we miss the whole point. The role of a provision should be taught to the young men, even before they are teenagers. And how to be taught, and make him watch movies, everything, read books, understand what men go through, how men face. We just wanted to get a degree, that's all. And we are surprised where for a little thing they get discouraged. Now what they're gonna have, well, you have a new generation that will play video game for all day. That is a curse. Because you are denying your nature as a man, your role as a man. If you're not prepared to do anything, then now you get married. Next man, you have a twin. So you move from one person to four. And before you know it, it's five, even six. Now you are pulled by all need to be fed, need a lodging, need everything, need to be clothed, everything, everybody will call you. Why will call your husband? Children say, Papa, everything. And then you realize, oh Lord, I can't breathe. Why? We're not prepared. So men need to be trained to be in Eden, at work. Need to be trained to be a source, a provider before you get married. That's why in the old school, there was a requirement of the dowry because the dowry proved that you can provide, you can take care, you are capable, you are ready, you are prepared. Number 4, husband as priest under Christ's high priesthood. So husband should be the one teaching doctrine in the home with the help of the wife. So the sanctuary should be taught at home. End time prophecy taught at home. God purpose and vision for your life taught at home. The 144,000 taught at home. Daniel Revelation, all the doctrine should be taught home, right there at home. Now, do we prepare our young people for it? That's a big question mark. Then our adult, grown men in the church for 20 years, 25 years, can they take the Bible and educate their family? Another big question. So why we are surprised that the church is weak? Why we are so surprised that we are so broken, so confused? Health message should be taught by the Father. Health message. The right arm of the gospel should be taught by the priest in the home. Now what do? A lot of men, the husband, the father, the wife is begging them to reform their life. That's called broken structure. The role you should play now, you are begging to even know it. How can you play something you don't even know? How can you assume a responsibility you don't even prepare for? Then, are we going just to beat on the man whole night tonight? No. Absolutely no. We are describing the problem. But thank God there's a solution. Amen. There's a solution. The solution is Christ-like solution. I will look at the teaching of Christ to the disciple. The way he trained the 12. Anybody can be transformed if they are willing to learn and reform. Anyone can really change their health if they're willing to learn and reform. Anyone, any man from tonight can say, Lord, by your grace, I will learn all the doctrine that I need to learn and teach that in my home. If I can't do all by myself, I will actually see this as a channel of pastor or whoever that can help me in my home. When it comes to health, me and my household will take a seminar on health. When it comes to finance, we're going to learn about finance. It's too late, but we can find a way. Just about decision and the will to do it. Then what do we see in a year? Let's say we take a 1 year, just 1 year, and the man choose to learn about sanctuary, end time prophecies, everything. At the same time, Dr. Wise said, look, we're going to learn all of these things together. At the same time, say we're going to reform our health. Let's all learn about health message. Let's all start reforming our health. And then finance. Let us now go back God's way. Let's create first stream of income. Let's do things. And then you're going to see a brand new home. The very moment man start playing his role, you're going to see the wife wake up. But if she's converted, you will see she feel like, yes, finally I have the man I was craving for. The man that can lead God's way, that can bring reform, that me and my children and himself, we can be healthy. The man that can help us out. We know we are secure financially. We know we are secure health-wise. We know we are secure doctrine-wise. We are good for the end time. There's a deep need of restoring manhood. So, yeah, we can blame the church. The church did not do it. All right, then you still need to take the responsibility. I'm calling every man tonight. When God chose to make you a man, there was no church there. So God make you a man. If you have a church, good. If the church teaching things like that, thank God. If it doesn't not, you still have to meet your fitness according to God's design. I would like to say to all of men, don't be discouraged. It's not too late. As long as we have the breath, we can reform. As long as we live, we can learn and correct things. It's very crucial, but we cannot let things run like this and expect it to be okay. It will not be okay. So husband must have that image of God very clear, which is selflessness. The husband as a priest, husband at work. And through the work of the husband, you got to create a full stream of income. So Genesis chapter 2, verse 10 to verse 14. And this should be done way before you get married, most of it. Normal. Okay? Normally. If a young boy, let's say 16, the parent prepare him so much that when he gets to 16, he knows how to do a whole lot of stuff. And every summer, encourage the young man to just, find some job with friends and people just to go and just do some landscape for them and get a little bit paid. And encourage your boy, if you make 2,000, we'll add another 2,000 all before I'm going to invest it for you. So in the 17, do the same thing, 18, 20, going on. By 22, maybe finish college. They have a job. Encourage him, get a 2 job. We're going to help you. Don't buy any car, stay with us at home for the next 5 years again. By the time he will be 27, he build a foundation, at least financial. If you miss that, the chance to recover is, is almost zero. And then you get married, have children, and then all the bills are piling up, compound. The bill actually compound because when you get married, the bill go up like this. Have children up, more children up, and before you know it, their school come in. and it's going up to college, like you don't even know what to do. But if before you get married, you have worked 2 jobs for the last 10 years, whatever years, that is invested, and that become a source of income by itself, plus your job. You see that? Then along the time, get another one. By the time you are 30, 34, you have 4 stream of income. 4 stream of income. You can easily run things. This is a design God has given to Adam before sin. Eden just need one river. Why need it to be 4? It's a profound teaching. If you only have 2 people there, 1 river should be enough. How much water they need? It's more than water. It's a teaching. But most of the men we are educated to have a good job, and that's it. The good job will never be enough unless you are highly, 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 highly like up there, and barely that meet all the requirement of family nowadays. So these 4 rivers. Number 1 is Pison. The second one is Gihon or Gihon, run. And the third one is Hiddekel, and the 4th one is Euphrates. Adam and Eve, 2 people don't need 4 rivers. We need 4 rivers to properly irrigate Eden, the whole. This is a thing we should be teaching our AY. So husband how to be at work in Eden, how to be in God's presence. Okay? And God will give you wisdom and the strength you need. Woman, you should not marry a man who doesn't fear God because they have nothing else for you. 1 Timothy 5 verse 8. The husband as a provider, as a source. You are the source for your children. Father means source. Okay, go look at it, the root of that word, father. Source. You are source to your children forever. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, everywhere you are the source. Even to your wife, source. That's the reason why you give your name to her. You change her name. Anybody understand that? It's by order that God asked Adam to name Eve. It's by order that when the women get married, they remove their father's name and put the husband's name. It's not a joke. It's not a commodity. It's a law. She had her father's name for whole life because the father was what? A source. The day you get married, they remove the name of the father and put your name. You become the new father. That's what it really means. And women should learn to respect that if your husband is really doing his best to get that done. Unfortunately, a lot of sisters also don't have the father figure rightly, so they don't even know how to treat the husband as well. Unfortunately, that also exists. So it's very important that we pay a good attention of the necessity of a man healing. It must be something that we all choose to work on. Not just the man. We are calling fathers today. Catch up with your children. We are calling mothers today. Sit down with your boy. If they are fatherless, sometimes it can happen that the father pass away. Pray that God guide you to let some God-fearing pastor or elder that can start guiding your children. It's very important. They need the voice of a man in their ear. It's very, very important. If there's any uncle God-fearing, they can play the role properly. Why not? It's not about money. It's about teach them things that men teach to boys. There's a lot of things women can't do it. Stop lying to yourself. You can pay all the bill. You are not capable to make a boy a man. You don't have it to give. So give up. Don't try it. Do your best to let the role of a man be played. It's crucial, very much crucial. They have to be godly man. So it's a call tonight for the man, for the boy, for the new married or new whatever. All male need to become men by education and reformation. So they have to learn their role. And you will see health message will become very easy in our home. Because most is resisted by their husband, stubborn husband, unfortunately. Then doctrine will be learned and taught whole. Then advances home will be read. Then great controversy will be read. Then slowly things start changing. There was an example, there was a man, I won't give the name. In 2000, I think it was 11, but we have some situation 10 and then 11. But after from 10, he asked me, he have a talk with me, said, Pastor, I need your help. He said he will even pay me to do it. He said, look, I realize that I'm a father, but I don't have most of the thing I need to educate my children spiritually. I don't have it. Come teach myself, my wife, and my children, and I will pay you every month for doing it. That was the first time in my life that any man was willing to do such a thing. And I said, give me the day and the hour, and we should be fine. You don't need to pay me anything. And thank God it was done. We went through the stories for almost 2 years. Yeah. We studied Great Controversy right there, Adventist Home, 1888, Daniel Revelation, all the doctrine you can imagine. So you don't need to play all the role, but you can make things happen. So it's a crucial. Nowadays with social media, with the books, we can really catch up. But everybody needs to know it's a need, even for this end time. Why? Very soon another corona is coming up. The church going to be closed down again. You're going to stuck home. If stuck home, you don't have anything to offer your family. You're going to end up arguing every day because you don't have nothing to offer. So we are in a crisis. And I'm calling everybody to get up. There's a crisis of a lack of a manhood, priestly manhood. A priest that is also a husband, that's also a father, that's also a provider, all at once is lacking. May we sound alarm in the whole nation that we are. So when we have economic crisis, people have a news all over the place. Oh, the market is down, everything is down, people are losing their home, losing their job. Da, 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 da. Now let the news go everywhere. Our men are confused and lost. We need a man back. We need a priestly man back, priestly manhood. So it's very, very important. So every man, this is my suggestion again, may we know we have an issue. Every woman, may we know we have an issue. Support your husband, support your boys to get right away, not tomorrow, from tonight, a plan to catch up. I wish I have enough time to do that with all. But let's see, we never know. We are calling everybody. This is everybody problem, not just man issue though. You have a broken man who produce broken children and also break their wife and break everything. So it's everybody issue. A lot of women on this side are not happy because the husband is not playing the role they should play in the home. So it's hurting you as well. It's not just so. It's not just a man issue now. It's a whole society issue. It's a church issue. It's a community issue. It's God problem. So let men be priests again. Amen. Let the men be priestly, godly men again. Godly father again. Godly husband again. Let the men go back to divine design. So it's a calling tonight. Amen. So I'm going to stop right here. Maybe with the questions, we can go in detail. Okay, for tonight is about a call that a man must learn all that you have to learn to play your role as a priest, as a husband, as a father, as a priest, as a provider, as a everything. As a teacher in a home, you got to get fit for your work. Amen. So let us stop right here and take a few questions and then we will see.